Okay, now we are going to discuss about the Q value. That is a quite important topic here. So if you consider any nuclear reaction, so in each nuclear reaction this Q value comes in nuclear. Okay, now if you consider the any particular nuclear reaction, let's consider suppose A plus B, that is a nuclear reaction. A plus B, and due to this reaction suppose the C plus D two nuclei formed. So out of this is considered as an input product, this is considered as an output product. So there is a two possibility, maybe we are supplied this energy to this reaction, or due to this reaction some energy is released. So there is a two possibility of this one. So let's consider the mass of A is Ma, mass of B is Mb, mass of C is Mc, and mass of D is Md. So these are the mass of this one. Okay, now as we discussed in a binding energy, when the two nuclei are just combined to with each other, if there is some mass difference, so due to this mass difference some energy will be released. This is called a rest mass energy. This is called a rest mass energy, and we already know about the reaction energy of this rest mass. So energy of this rest mass is given by E is equal to delta mc square. So here two possibilities are possible. See, mass is this input mass is higher than this output mass, maybe first possibility. Second possibility, this input mass may be less than this output mass. So according to this some energy will be released or absorbed. So let's consider here plus some energy. This energy is considered as a Q value. This energy is considered as a Q value. So this is nothing. This is called a Q value. Simple one. Okay. Now what is the exact definition of this one? So it is defined as a difference in rest mass energy. So this is a rest mass energy, delta mc square. So this is rest mass energy of all those particles before reaction and after reaction. Before reaction and after reaction of all those particle and nuclei before reaction and those of the product after reaction. So you finding out the delta M before reaction and after reaction. So here if you find, let's consider this total mass is considered as a M initial and this total mass is considered as a M final. Consider. So what is delta M here? So delta M is equal to difference in masses. That's we have to finding out. So delta M is considered M final minus M initial. So how much energy is just considered with this process? So this energy is called a Q value. So rest mass energy difference, rest mass energy here, thus delta E is equal to delta mc square. Here delta M is what? M final minus M initial, and delta mc square, this is in terms of joule. If you consider this is in joule as we discussed in last session, so delta M must be in kg. Delta M must be in kg, and the same equation is written in this another form also. It is equal to delta M into 931.5 MeV. If you are using this relation, then this is delta M considered is in atomic mass unit. So this we have a two answer for delta E. One is in terms of joule and second one is in terms of MeV. So this is exactly similar to this binding energy, but there is some nuclear reaction is when there's any nuclear reaction is occurs, some different cases also possible. So out of this one, let's we discuss about the first case. Okay, so let's consider case number 1. So in case 1, you consider that is some heavy nuclei, any nuclei. Okay, suppose X. Now some nuclear reaction is occurs, so it's converted into another nuclei Y plus some particle like alpha particle. Consider beta particle, alpha, we discuss about it later on. But when this nuclear reaction is occur, suppose some nuclei X you have, now nuclear reaction is occur and Y is formed and this is at rest, but alpha particle having some kinetic energy. So alpha particle moving with some kinetic energy. Initially maybe X is at rest, maybe similarly Y is also maybe at rest. Okay, if this both are at rest, then alpha particle moving with some kinetic energy. So here this kinetic energy is called a Q value. In this process, this kinetic energy is what? Q value. Kinetic energy is considered as a Q value. Okay, so that is the first case of this finding out this Q value. So when this any particle is produced in any nuclear reaction, so at that time if you want to get the answer of the Q value, then you must be finding out the kinetic energy of this particle. This kinetic energy and this Q value both are same one. Second case, suppose you have to form some nucleus by some nuclear reaction. Let's consider the formation of helium nucleus. Formation of helium nuclei. The simple one, for helium we already know about this one. Z is equal to 2, A is equal to 4, so number of nucleus A minus Z, so 4 minus 2 is equal to how much? 2. So here 2 proton and 2 neutron. So when these both are combined to each other, then the helium nucleus will be formed. So let's consider 2 proton, so 2 mass of proton plus 2 neutrons, so 2 mass of neutron, then the helium nucleus is formed. Then mass of helium plus some energy. Okay, as we discussed in last lecture, this type of reactions is occur. So here this energy is called a Q value. Here the kinetic energy is called a Q value. Here this released energy, actually not only energy, but it is actually released energy. Released energy is considered as a Q value. You must be remember that is what Q value. There is a two possible cases to get the answer of Q value. Now the case is what? When the Q value is when this energy is released and when the energy is absorbed. Initially I am just telling to all of you, here maybe energy is released or maybe energy is absorbed. So when the energy is released and when the energy is absorbed, if see in this reaction process A plus B to C plus D, if this mass is higher one and this mass is smaller one, so there is some mass defect is created and this mass defect is converted into energy. If mass defect considers the initial mass is higher and final mass is lower, it means mass defect is negative. Mass defect is what? Negative. So this negative mass is converted into energy. Okay, so at that time energy will be released. So case number 1, when energy is released means Q value is positive. So if energy is released in any nuclear processes, then we call Q value is positive. So in this reaction, if this initial mass is higher one and this final mass is smaller one, so some mass is in this reaction, some mass is converted into energy. So in this process we can say that if M final less than M initial, it means delta M less than 0. Delta M less than 0. So this much of mass is converted into energy, means the total mass of this C plus D is less than the A plus B. So here we can write down this also, mass of C plus mass of D, which is less than mass of A plus mass of B, means the final mass is less than the initial one, then sum of this mass is converted into energy. So this is called in this process energy will be released. Energy is released, and when the energy is released we can say that this is the Q value is positive here. The exactly opposite case, case 2, when energy is absorbed, energy is absorbed, it means Q value is negative. It means we supplied some energy. We supplied some energy to the reaction. It means consider this product having a lower mass and this product having a higher mass. So here we are supplied some energy. Here we are supplied some energy and this energy is converted into mass. Here if this mass is higher, then mass is converted into energy. If this mass is lower, then energy is converted into energy. Energy is converted into mass. So exactly opposite case. So M final is greater than M initial. It means delta M greater than 0. It means mass of C plus mass of D is greater than mass of A plus mass of B. So in this case we can write down the energy is absorbed. Okay, and here we call it is Q value negative, means we are supplied some energy, otherwise we are nuclear reaction gives some energy. So in this process, how we write the nuclear reaction for this one? So we write the nuclear reaction, in this case final one is lower one, so like this: A plus B, C plus D plus energy. And how we write this reaction? So A plus B, here we supplied some energy, so plus energy, so the reaction is like this. So this is the supplied energy and this is the released energy. Now this possible case, which one is possible case out of this two? So when the Q value is positive, this is called this type of process, Q value is positive, we call it a spontaneous process. Means it is possible spontaneously, but this process is not possible spontaneously. So we can write down here, if Q value is positive, then this process is spontaneous. Okay, but this is not spontaneous process. Only which process is considered as a spontaneous process? Because this type of example is asking to you, out of this given process, which one is spontaneous? So for any nuclear reaction, if Q value is positive, then this type of process is called a spontaneous process. Okay, and one another question is asking from the same one, the endothermic process and exothermic process. If Q value is positive, means energy released, this is called a exothermic process. So energy is released, this process is also called a, you must be remember, exothermic process. Okay, and energy is absorbed, this is called a endothermic process. Endothermic process. This type of question is asking to you, which out of this given processes, which one is endothermic and which one is exothermic. Okay, so if energy released Q value positive, we call it is exothermic process. If energy absorbed, then we call it is endothermic process. Okay, out of this one, the first case is possible spontaneously, but the second case is not possible actually spontaneously. We supplied some energy, maybe nuclear reaction is possible. Okay, so this type of question is asking, number of question is asking to in your examination to find the Q value for the given reaction. Okay, so for this you remember this all the theory and understand this theory properly. All of you guys pause your screen and note down this everything. Now we are going to discuss about relative abundances. Now if you consider the mass of any element, okay, suppose mass of chlorine, mass of hydrogen, mass of helium, mass of oxygen, like this. So if any stable element contains the number of isotopes, we already know about the isotope first of all. So what is isotope? So isotope means what? Z is same. Okay, so the effective mass, average mass is found by the by their isotope relative abundances. Okay, means any stable element contains actually several isotopes. isotopes, maybe 2, 3, 4 and so on. Okay, so if how to find the average mass if there is a number of isotopes, you consider the any element X, suppose any element X, if you consider this is one element, so this element contains the suppose 2 isotopes. Okay, when this average value is contains the 2 isotope, the first isotope having mass m1, second isotope having mass m2, or you can also write this way, the first isotope having the atomic mass, it's a1 or it's maybe a2. There is a two symbol, just sometimes maybe mass is given, sometimes maybe atomic total number of nucleon is given. Okay, so total number of nucleons is given, then you are using the a1 and a2, otherwise you are using the m1 and m2. If third one is given, so m3 and a3, like this. So first one out of this total 100%, the first one having suppose R1 percentage of abundance, and for second one if R2 percentage of abundance, okay, so first one having R1 percentage abundance, second one having R2 percentage abundance, then how to get the average mass of this X? So very simple case, average mass is finding by this relation, m is equal to m1 r1 plus m2 r2 upon 100, like this, where always r1 plus r2 is equal to 100%, always, always r1 plus r2. If there is a three isotopes m1, m2 and m3, then here answer is what? m1 r1 plus m2 r2 plus m3 r3 upon 100. Okay, then at that time r1 plus r2 plus r3 is equal to 100, means total number of total percentage is always what? 100%. So here we write that in denominator 100, like you just get the answer in terms of A. Then A is equal to a1 r1 plus a2 r2 upon 100. Here also the same theory is applied, r1 plus r2 is equal to what? 100, same one. In denominator always 100. If three element, again in denominator always 100. The summation of this three one, r1 plus r2 plus r3 is equal to 100%. So this is the one simple relation. By this relation you just able to calculate the average mass of any element. For an example, so here we have one example of chlorine. Let's see. Suppose you consider the natural chlorine. You consider the natural chlorine. So for how we get the atomic mass of the chlorine? So its isotope, first isotope having a mass, generally it's found naturally. Okay, so first isotope having mass m1 34.98 U, second isotope having mass m2 36.98 U. So in natural chlorine, what is the abundance of this one? m1, it's a 75.4, means out of 100%, 75.4% is 4% contained by this isotope 1, and 24.6% is contained by this isotope 2. Then what is our question? Find the average mass of chlorine. So we are using this relation directly, m is equal to m1 r1 plus m2 r2 upon 100. So we get the answer, average mass m is equal to m1 r1 plus m2 r2 upon 100. So put this all this value, 34.98 multiplied by 75.4 plus this one, so plus 98, not 89, it is a 98 plus into 24.6 upon 100. So if you calculate this answer and you finding out this answer, so unit is what right now? AMU is given, so this answer is also in AMU, and after calculation you get this answer. 35.47, and generally we are taking the atomic mass of the chlorine is approximately similar to this one. Okay, so this way you get the answer of abundances of this any different isotopes in different element. Actually abundances is different as per the element. It's not same for all this element. Okay, so you must be remember abundances for different element is different. Okay, if element is changed, then abundance is also change. So this type of number of example are given in our NCERT textbook. We just going to this in next section we are just going to the solution of this type of example. Okay, first of all of you guys pause your screen and note down this one. Okay guys, now we are discuss about the some examples which is related to relative abundances. Okay, we already know the equation of this one. Average mass is equal to m1r1 plus m2r2 upon 100. If three elements are there, then m1r1 plus m2r2 plus m3r3 upon 100, like this. Okay, so first we are going to this first example of textbook. So all of you just see the problem in your textbook. So example number 13.1. This two examples are given in 13.1. So first one, what is this example statement of this one? Two stable isotope of lithium 3Li6 and 3Li7. So there is a two isotopes, 3Li6 and 3Li7. That is a two isotopes. Isotopes means Z is same. Here Z is equal to 3, here Z is equal to 3, and the A is different, so 6 and 7. So we can say that this both are isotopes for each other. Okay, their abundances are 7.5% and 92.5%. Let's consider that's the first one, that's the second one. So R1 is equal to 7.5%, 7.5%, and R2 is equal to 92.5%. R2 is equal to 92.5% as given in a statement. These two isotopes have their masses. So what is the mass of the first one? So M1 is equal to 6.01512 U. 6.01512 AMU, and the second one is 7.01600 AMU. So M2 is equal to 7.01600 AMU. Find the atomic mass of lithium. So we have to find the average atomic mass of lithium. The very simple one. Now what is the hint? Average mass of lithium is given by M is equal to M, how many? 2. Then here you write this equation only for two substances. So M1R1 plus M2R2 upon 100. So all of you put this each values here and you get some answer in terms of AMU. So this answer is in a homework. Calculation first you calculate it and then compare your answer with textbook solution. Okay, this is a homework to all of you. First you just calculate this average mass of lithium from this example, and whatever you get this answer here, you just compare your answer with the whatever this answer given in our textbook. So this is a remaining task is in homework. So let's come to this one. Now the same example is given here for B 13.1, but the second problem B. What is the second problem? Let's read the statement. Boron has two stable isotopes 5B10 and 5B11. Again now we think about boron. So 5B10 and 5B11. See, Z is same. Z is same means both are isotopes for each other, and this is 10 and this is 11. So A is different. Okay. Now this is the situation. Now their respective masses are 10.1. Okay, so let's consider the mass of this first one is what? M1. It's is given in problem is 10.01294 AMU, and the second mass consider M2. So M2 is equal to 11.00931. So this is the given in a problem, so we just note it. Now atomic mass of boron. So now average mass is given directly to us. So what is the average mass? So average mass M is equal to 10.811 AMU. This is given problem. Okay, this is the given data. Now what we have to finding out, find their abundances. So find R1 and R2. So how we calculate this one? We have to find this one. So we have the same relation here, but the second relation I am already given to all of you. If you are consider this one, then what is the hint of the solution? Always R1 plus R2 is equal to what? 100, equation number 1. And use this average mass concept. So what is average mass? So M is equal to M1R1 plus M2R2 upon 100. So M is given, M1 M2 given, M1 M2 given. Here unknown is what? R1 and R2. Here unknown is what? R1 and R2. So put the all value, and this is the equation number 2. Solve out this both problem and find the R1 and R2. Solve out this both equation, R1 and R2, R1 and R2. So you have two equation for R1 R2. So solve this equation 1 and 2. Solve equation 1 and 2 and you get the answer. So the remaining task is in homework, and again compare your answer with the textbook. So remaining task is in homework. Okay, so this is the first problem given for the relative abundances. Now let's come to this next problem. Next problem is from the textbook again, and it is example number 13.2. So now this example 13.2. okay, so what is the problem? The three stable, now the number of isotopes is how many? 3 isotopes. So 3 stable isotopes of the neon, 10Ne20, 10Ne21 and 10Ne22. So we have a 3 isotopes, 10Ne20, 10Ne21, 10Ne22. See, 10, 10, 10. For each element Z is same. So we can say that this all are isotopes for each other. And the relative abundances are 91.51%. So first one, R1 is equal to 90.51%. 90.51%. First one. Now the second one is 0.27%. So R2 is equal to 0.27%. Now the third one is 9.22%. So this R3 is equal to 9.22%, and this their atomic mass are 19.99, 20.99 and 21.99. so this all are the given here. So first isotope mass, second isotope mass and third isotope mass are M1, M2 and M3 are given as 19.99 AMU, 20.99 AMU, and the third one is 21.99 AMU. The question is what? Find this average mass of the neon. Again the same one, our hint. So what is the question? Finding out the average mass of the neon. So how we get the average mass? So average mass, M is how many element? 1, 2, 3. There is a 3 isotopes. So we are using this equation up to the 3 steps. Okay, so M is equal to M1 R1 plus M2 R2 plus M3 R3 upon 100. R1 R2 R3 given, M1 M2 M3 given. Put the all value and get the answer, and compare the answer with the textbook. So this remaining task, calculation is homework. Calculation is in a homework. So note down this all those things, okay, in your book, and calculate this both this answer. This is in a homework. Okay, now we are going to the same topic example, relative abundances from the additional exercise. So all of you see the example number 13.23 in your textbook. So now we solving the example 13.20. Again this example is from the same topic. What is this problem? In a periodic table, the average atomic mass of magnesium is given as, so average mass is directly given, so M is equal to 24.312 AMU, and the average value is based on the relative abundances on the earth, as we discussed in the theory. Now the three isotopes are considered. So first isotopes is what? 12 Mg24. This is the first isotopes. Second isotopes is what? 12 Mg25, and the third isotopes is 12 Mg26. 12 Mg20. These three isotopes is given to us. Now their relative abundances are also their mass is also given here. So first isotope mass is 23 point, so consider that's M1. M1 is equal to 23.9850 AMU, and second one is mass is 24.9858.4 AMU, and the third one is mass is 98.259 AMU. So this mass are also given to us. Now the natural abundance of the 12 Mg24. So this one 12 Mg24 is abundance is 78.99. So its abundance is given us. R1 is equal to 78.99 by percentage. Let's consider, suppose relative abundance of this one is R2 and relative abundance of this one is R3. So let's write some of the data here, and what we have to calculate their abundances of this remaining two ones. So we have to calculate this both the data. R2 is equal to what and R3 is equal to, again the same simple example. Let's I am just given some hint to all of you. Now average mass is given to you, M1, M2, M3 is given to you, and R1 is given to you. We have to finding out the R2 and R3. So all we know, the always summation of all the relative abundance is always 100. So first equation is what? Relative abundance is R1 plus R2 plus R3 is always 100. So equation number 1. So first equation is always this one. Now here R1 is known. So what is R2 plus R3? So R2 plus R3 is equal to 100. This minus R1. So minus 78.92. This is the equation. Actually, let's consider this is equation number 1. We have to find the R2 and R3 both. So this is the equation number 1. Now the second case is what? Average mass is given. So what is this actually? This is average mass. So use this average mass formula, then we get the answer directly. So average mass, how many isotopes? 1, 2 and 3. So you write this formula up to the 3 steps. So M1R1 plus M2R2 plus M3R3 upon 100. M given here, M1, M2, M3 given here. So everything is given. So again you get the one relation between R2 and R3 here. So this is the equation number 1. And after putting this all value and give some simplification, this is the equation number 2. Now solve equation 1 and 2. This is in homework to all of you. Calculate the answer. Homework is what? Calculation. After calculation, all of you guys compare your answer with the textbook. Okay? So you just pause your screen and note down this everything.